Greetings, ladies and managers, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. The channel is zooming its way to 100k subscribers. If you are not yet subscribed and you do enjoy the content, could you please click that button just to help the channel? Also, if while you're at it, just click the like button if you enjoy, and drop a 100k comment down below. Anyways, on to the story. What the Humans Hold Back, written by Captain Candy. The camera opens up to a purple octopod-type species. The ends of all of its 8 tentacles were curled up in sheer terror, and the purple color was almost ultraviolet. It was shivering violently to the point where it was twitching. After several long moments, it uncurled from its fear response, and it was finally discernible as it was an Olect, one of the spaceborne species that was a little over the average abilities with psychics. Their race was well known as overly curious and brave to the point of stupidity. If you ever saw one having a fear response, you didn't ask questions, you shut up and listen. And it was unheard of for them to be anything other than a light shade of purple. Whatever this being had seen, it was horrifying beyond words. Finally, after a few long, deep, audibly shaking breaths, it began projecting words into the psychic receiver.
Dear Council, I have seen beyond the wall of the human mind. I truly wish I hadn't. I wish that I could erase the memories, but I will not subject any memory specialist to that. Council, I am putting forward information as fear rating Omega. Do not let any person who does not need to view this do so, as a form of mercy upon their soul. I will not leave a psychic imprint of what I saw. I cannot. Any race, not my own or a human, would go utterly and completely mad beyond any help upon seeing what I saw. I'll start from the beginning. You know how my race is dangerously curious, and fear not even death in pursuit of sating this curiosity, I assume. Well, I got especially curious about what humans are hiding behind that damned wall they insist they don't consciously make. So I put out an ad to humans, 200 credits per hour, for them to let me try and break through that wall. I got a volunteer in under an hour. It started with some pleasantries and a contract, and the promise that I wouldn't peek at their memories, all standard. And then I had them lie down on a human standard couch, while I attempted to break past this wall. I sent my astral body into their mind and saw it in front of me, a wall of psychic energy so dense and thick that it was equivalent to psychic neutronium. I tried many things, a burst of all my psychic energy in a pinprick-sized spot to drill in, slamming my astral form into it, which resulted in a headache. But what finally worked was, quite frankly, ludicrous. Eventually, after trying dozens of methods, I knocked. I knocked on the wall like it was a door. I don't know where the idea came from, but I regret that I had it at all. After knocking, the door actually materialized in the wall and opened, just like that. I was astounded beyond words and gently flew through it. Once inside, though, I was stopped by something. I recognized it immediately as something only seen in lesser, non-psychic entities or untrained children. It was an ego. The ego, upon seeing me, lunged at me, screaming, "No, no intruder! Intruder bad! I not fail job! Pride not let me fail!" It then swung its fist, and I obviously didn't dodge. This was an astral body, of course, and it couldn't be hit. And then it hit me, literally. The headache I got from it was unholy in proportion. I understand the human term migraine now. After realizing that I could actually be hit, I fought back, and quickly the ego was unconscious on the ground. So I kept walking, and eventually came across the superego. This one was more intelligent, and tried to talk and convince me to go back and to leave. It said that it didn't know why. It was just told to tell others to go back the direction they came from. I ignored it and continued forward. Eventually I came across what was clearly an id. It was a writhing mass and oozed raw emotion of every kind in such intense waves that I began to feel them. To my surprise, it was intelligent, much more than the superego. it stopped me and said, "No, hello there, visitor. Look, I don't know how you got this far, but stop, turn around, and go back. You do not want to go forwards. The only thing behind me is fear. Endless, merciless, crippling fucking fear. We foregod what is being me. They're the fourth gods it directly. He is the only one of us brave enough to be anywhere near that mass of pure fear. Other than the conscious self, that is. He goes into that dome every night, too. I don't even want to repeat it. Look, dude, you don't want to see it. I'm telling you. Not only that, but I can't let you go. No. We cannot risk anything damaging or harming the seal. If one of those things gets out. Anyways, I'll stop you, by force if necessary. As it spoke of what was behind it, it radiated a deep primordial fear that I had never felt before. It was instinctual to a genetic level, pure horror. But I pushed through that and tried to go forward. True to its words, though, the id tried to stop me, and after a long, exhausting fight, I eventually got it to submit. Not by damaging it, but it told me that it could not waste any extra energy on someone as small as me and just let me pass. Then I saw it, the dome. It was clear, and I could see through it. But on the inside of it was some sort of black swirling smoke. It was covered in small cracks that would heal in a moment and reappear elsewhere on the dome before the crack was fixed again. As I got closer and closer, I started to be able to see within. Eventually, I stood an arm's reach from the dome, and under it was an entire dimension. All over this dimension were portals of psychic energy with many, many uncountable beings coming in through them. Some of them were horrifying, writhing masses of tentacles, fourth-dimensional biologicals that were inside out as much as they were normal, unrecognizable forms, myriads of them. Then, the ones I recognized. Koth, the great devourer from my people's mythos, Damar from the Squell's mythos, and many other destroyers. Then, oh gods, the ones from the human mythos, I saw Cthulhu march forward and lead an army to kill swaths of other entities with these brother and sister horrors and minions. I saw Satan summoning countless demons in countless forms, dragging countless beings into red portals of hell. I saw a shining human form sending forth angels with flaming blades, cutting down everything in their path. I saw an 8-armed goddess destroy and end parts of reality itself. I saw a shining golden man with an odd halo mesmerize and dominate billions with his calm smile. Every human horror and god and imagined creature was here. So were the ones of every other race I knew. I fell backwards, my astral form hitting the desert sands within this human's mind. I scrambled back, crying in terror and fear. Then, one of the evil ones looked up at me. It was a small one, barely notable amongst the titans, barely more than the size of an average human dressed like a clown, and everything in the dome seemed to avoid it. Yet, it smiled at me, and I am ashamed to admit that my astral form lost control of my faculties. And then it shouted, and everything froze. Every single entity within the dome simultaneously looked directly at me. I felt my mind eroding until a hand held one of my tentacles and spoke, "Close your eyes and turn around. Slowly. They cannot touch you through this dome, though many have tried. Good. Good. Now open your eyes. We need to have a little chat. First off, I'm sorry I let you look into the dome first before speaking with you, but really, you wouldn't have stopped unless I let you look. But I needed one of you aliens to know what we humans are stopping, so when I heard that you knock, I obviously had to open the door. I turned to look, and it was the man whose mind I was in, but not him. I asked, "Are you the subconscious? What in the hells is all of that?" "Yes, I am the subconscious, and that over there is a thin dome of unbridled psychic energy, standing between reality and those monsters, gods, demons, and titans. I don't know the specifics of how, but I know what. And yes, I did just read your mind. Look, I'll explain it from the start. First of all, humans are psychic. In fact, we are probably the most powerful ones, and well, I'd say the universe. But the trapped things over there suggest the entire multiverse, so far anyway. Next up is how the hell these things get here. I don't know the specifics, not even remotely. Humans act as some sort of interdimensional, multi-level live bait trap for these fecking things. These things have taken over their home universe in one way or another, and want to expand or are fleeing their homes from something stronger. Hells, some of them are kidnapping to repopulate their universe. But for whatever reason, when anything tries to come to our universe, it is drawn into this prison inside the human psyche. Myself, the id, the ego, and the superego all stand guard in case any of these things get out. Occasionally, wisps of their energy escape in the form of smoke. That's how Lovecraft wrote his books, how God got his Bible, etc. But this is the reason you didn't see our psychic potential. Every last ounce of our power goes into stopping these damned things. And some of us are strong enough to keep the barriers perfectly intact and even have extra energy to have visions of the future and the like. We don't know what one of these things got here first, but we know they tried to break free. Luckily, all of humanity's combined psychic energy gathers here to form this barrier. Everyone has their own barrier, sure, and that outer wall, but they all overlap and superposition so as a set of dimensional universal coordinates to trap these feckers. Every human who has ever lived has trapped these things. A lot of the myths you aliens have is from before humans evolved into being. We're pretty sure, me and the other subconsciouses, that as soon as the first human evolved, it drew in and trapped these damned things. You're all legends and myths, all real, every last one of them. This is also why humans have separate parts of their minds like the early children you all have in Teach. See, each part of our minds guards against and stops these things in its own unique way. The humans discovered us, though, and we hid away so they thought and still think that we aren't real, only theory. Anyway, this is what is behind the wall. I hope you're happy knowing it. Next time you see a wall, though, that seems desperate to keep things out, maybe don't go knocking. Now, go outside and tell everyone you can, and I do mean everyone, not to try and break that outer wall. If they do, and we have to stop and rebuild, and even a wisp of psychic smoke gets out of the dome when it happens, well, I'll let you fill the blanks yourself. Take care now. I'm sending you out. From there, I was kicked out of the human mind. At first, I was numb and mindlessly paid the human their credits. Then when I was done. But the more I realigned into reality, the more I thought on it, the more afraid I became. Please, dear council, do not try and get past that wall anymore. I never want to ever see one of those monsters in our reality. Good, evil, neutral, none of them. Please, I beg of you to stop attempting to break that wall. Message from Quip before the first break and following multi-galactical war against Cthulhu. End of story. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 peeps. Dragon Soup, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnold, Cam Maxwell, Sans the Skeleton, Lightjock, Dragzoon WRE, and Lord Asrigal. Thank you very much.